Today's video, the Clown Prince of Crime gets a new release as we look at the DC Collectibles DC Core, the Joker PVC statue. The Joker looks dapper and dangerous as he rides high atop his own maniacal laughter, a unique and integrated base built of actual ha-ha-has. Display the Clown Prince of Crime proudly at home, work, or wherever you want to show your crazier side. DC Core is a line of 9-inch premium PVC statues that appeals to the fans of DC and its core characters. And, as a little fun factoid, the Joker was created by Bill Finger, Bob Kane, and Jerry Robinson, and first appeared in the debut issue of the comic book Batman, which was released to stands on April 25th, 1940. The Joker statue stands at 10.5 inches, which translates that to centimeters as 26.8 centimeters in height. Despite this being a statue, it does come with technically an accessory that you have to put into Joker's hand, and that is his iconic Joker cane. Somewhat arrogant that he would have a cane with his own caricature, if you will, as the top of the handle portion here. It's exquisitely detailed, though. The cane is otherwise a purple casted cane, primarily purple PVC plastic, probably likely used. And then they've just banded right there and on the end in the gold, which is actually the exact same gold that's on the handle portion here. He only gets one hand to support the cane. The other hand is just open like this. So we're going to go ahead and take the cane and slide it through the hole. It sort of fits there. Well, it goes without saying it obviously fits there, but it fits that he would have that cane there. Without the cane, well, he's just sort of gripping his hand. It doesn't really make much sense. I guess it could look like he's throwing a punch, but you definitely want to be putting the cane into his hand. You can either slide it further down, or you can have it further up. It's entirely up to you. There is really a stopping point where it doesn't go any bit further, and that's when it hits the band. From that point further, you can't slide the cane any further down from that. As for the display base, I really like this. It's ha-ha-ha. Well, a series of ha's, I guess a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 if you technically count the support. I guess there's technically a 6th, which is actually holding up Joker's, well, the ha that is then holding Joker's foot. I really, again, like this quite a bit. It gives you that sense of three-dimensional. It also harks back to something that is known for the character itself. I don't know if this is going to be an ongoing trend with other core statue releases, but Joker, perfect fit. Maybe then down the road, if they do like a Riddler, for example, they could do a similar sort of backdrop or display base where you could have a series of question marks. I like the choice of green that they also used as well. It's not quite the same green as Joker's head. We'll look at that in a second. But I really do overall like the display base quite a bit. On the underside, you've got DC Collectibles and manufactured in China on the other. The Joker gets some classic duds here in his traditional purple jacket and purple matching pants. They don't have quite striping in the pants, although there are seams presses, I guess seams actually in the pants that give it that sense that's almost like that same similar pinstripe. But neat actually if they had put the pinstriping in there. That's always something I think of when I think of the Joker. Then he's got his tailed coat, which I do really like the way it sort of blows off to the one side there. It's almost as if he's sprung up and the tail of the jacket has swung its way around this way here. The jacket, of course, is similar in color. It's that purple to purple, although the jacket is a slightly darker shade. It still also gets its own fair share of texturing, as you can see right there. Not quite, again, the pinstripe effect, but it does give you a very similar sort of effect. Then he's got his orange vest, which I might also add has some orange on the interior of the tails. Not quite the color, more like a turquoise instead of actually green. I think sometimes he uses green, but here we've got a turquoise shirt, and then he's got his ribboned tie. Of course, then he's got the little orchid there on his vest. Be careful that you don't get too close to that, because it could certainly squirt some acid in your face. Speaking of face, really like the face sculpt here on Joker. It's something that I would expect to find from like the old late 80s, early 90s version of Joker. Very narrowed jaw, very broad nose, very high cheekbones. Here it translates well to statue form, I want to say figure form. I really do like the paint that they've also applied to it. They've given light, slightly darker shades of almost like a violet purple there around the areas of his eyes. Very devilish looking expression, very broad, very wide mouth smile. You can see as well he is in mid laughing, probably laughing at the Cape Crusader. You can even see that they've sculpted in the tongue there as well. The teeth are very discolored. They could have also gone the route of giving him more yellow teeth, but these teeth are a little bit more closer to being white, but they are not certainly the cleanest of teeth. Very covered in grime and very slimy looking. Really nice paintwork here also in the vest section. Looks like there's two shades of this very burnt orange. Lighter shades here, and then in the creased sections they've added some slightly darker shades. It's when you start kind of tilting the figure that you really see the level of detail and care that they've put into the statue, right down to the fact that there is a belt buckle and a belt. The belt buckle could easily have been just hidden by a slightly longer vest, but they kept the vest just short enough that they put a lower sculpted piece, just a lower section of the statue. It just gives it that sense of depth. It gives you the idea that there's stuff in the forefront, and then you've got the belt like slightly further back from that. Also really liking Joker's shoes here. Mostly black, but they've given a slightly darker shade of this color here to the side areas of the shoes. Some nice stitch work there as well. And even though it doesn't have a treading, there's the undersides of one of his shoes at the very least here, and then the other shoe of course is attached to the ha ha ha. I very much get the feel of like Superpowers Joker when I look at this figure. No, not that Joker has superpowers, but the old Superpowers line from Kenner way back in the 80s. This is sort of like, I'm looking at this, I feel like this is a statue based on the Superpowers Joker, right down again to that iconic face sculpt. The hair, as you can see, has been given some slightly darker shades of green added in there as well. Certainly helps to add just a texturing, some added texturing to the hair sculpt there. Again, I really like the face. The face works extremely well for me, and I specifically really like the pose as well. It's almost a shame that they didn't put like a peg or something on the back there, because I would almost really have loved to display this, although the stability of obviously holding it up like this the whole time. But it would be really neat to have Joker on a slight angle, kind of angling out from the shelf. Still though, it's got a real playful Joker sort of pose to him. Again, it looks like he's kind of engaging in his own delight, chuckling to himself about a prank or a joke that he has pulled on Batman. I almost just kind of get that sense that Joker is kind of skipping along and giggling loudly. A few little things that you maybe want to be careful about, one of which being the tails of the jacket. These are slightly more denser PVC plastic. They don't have as much give to them, so be a little careful of that. One thing, if you are probably wondering here, is the tie. The tie feels like it's a slightly softer version of the PVC. I don't feel as worrisome that this could potentially break. Areas a little on the jacket are a little on, again, on the thinner side. You might be a little bit more careful of that. Basically, my biggest concern, because I always do like to try to stress the more fragile ends of statues. I think the more fragile parts are probably like the tails here on the back of the jacket. For all the designs Joker has had over the years, I'm happy to see that DC Collectibles went back to basics, if you will. Went back to the 80s and 90s design of Joker that holds true the most to me. I resonate the most to this design of Joker, I think, above all others. It also feels like I'm looking at a larger, more exaggerated Kenner Superpowers Joker that I didn't sadly have in the mid-80s. It was one of those figures that I always really wanted, but I'm kind of getting that vibe when I'm looking at this particular Joker. So fine work from DC Collectibles. I like the sculpt, like the paint, like especially for the fact that he's also standing atop of a display stand that's basically his own jokes. He's laughing and he's standing on top of his own crapulence. He's indulging, I suppose, if you will, for a joke he's just committed or a prank that he's just committed on Batman, and he's frolicking and skipping along the way, standing on top of those ha-ha-has. And I think there's some irony to that. I would love to see them do this, that similar type of display stand, for maybe someone like a Riddler down the road. Currently, for the DC core line, there's also going to be a Wonder Woman, there's also going to be a Batman, and there's going to be the Batgirl in the purple attire. So I'm liking this lineup so far. I'm glad I really started with first Joker, as he definitely would have been the entryway that I would have looked at for this particular statue lineup. And I've really always been a big fan of Joker, and I think he's executed well here in PVC form. By the way, as well, this particular Joker was designed by Jim Fletcher and was sculpted by David Pereira. Just always like to put that in there as well, because for the time that we can look at statues here on this channel, it's nice to take that few seconds to really appreciate the art style of talented artists out there and the people that put that in plastic form. Today, if we were having a look, by the way, at the DC core, the Joker, which, by the way, it should now be in comic book stores if you're looking to pick this one up for yourself. For fans of Joker, I definitely would think it's a good, nice little pickup. It's not even really a little pickup, too. It's a good sized Joker that would look really good on a display shelf. Like I said, today we were having a look at the now released DC core, the Joker statue. If you want to go back and have a look at some of my other DC collectible statue reviews, there's a playlist on this channel that you can go back and have a look at your viewing pleasure. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that little subscribe button down below, as it certainly will guarantee you, or somewhat guarantee you, that when new videos are coming onto this channel, you'll never miss a beat. And hey, while you're also at it, when you're finished up this video, why not swing by the homepage and see if there's other videos that you may have missed. You'll find them all in the video section of the homepage there. Thanks for watching, as you always do, guys. Certainly stay tuned. We're going to have a look at some more DC collectible figure and statue reviews in the next coming weeks. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.